Okay, so let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest guys on the entire planet. And yet, we've all seen the pictures. He's almost always wearing the exact same plain gray t-shirt. Why? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the surprisingly smart reason behind his super simple wardrobe. And I'll give you a hint. It has absolutely nothing to do with fashion.
I mean, it's a totally fair question, right? If you had all the money in the world, why would you choose to wear the same thing over and over again? It's a real puzzle, and honestly, it sparked a ton of curiosity and debate over the years.
So you might be thinking, all right, maybe it's some kind of anti-fashion statement, a statement against high fashion. Or maybe it's just a really clever branding move, like his own personal uniform. Or let's be real, maybe the guy's just lazy and doesn't want to think about clothes. Well, those are all pretty logical guesses, but they're all wrong. The real reason is actually way more fascinating.
See, the truth is, this whole thing isn't really about the shirt at all. It's about what's going on inside his head. That simple choice is actually a powerful mental strategy.
And hey, we don't even have to guess because Zuck told us the answer himself, right here. He said he wants to clear his life to make as few decisions as possible, except for the really big ones. He's actively trying to eliminate choices to save his mental energy for what he feels really matters. And that is our single biggest clue.
And this isn't just some personal quirk he came up with. No, this whole strategy is actually based on a well-known psychological principle. There's real science behind it.
And here it is. This is the big aha moment. The concept is called decision fatigue. And the idea is really simple. Making choices, any choice at all, literally wears out your brain. The more decisions you make, the worse you get at making them. Your judgment starts to slip.
The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your willpower isn't some endless well you can just keep dipping into. It's more like the battery on your phone. When you wake up, it's at 100%. But every single decision you make throughout the day drains that battery, little by little.
So here's how that plays out in a normal day. You start fresh, right? Your mental tank is full. But then the tiny leaks start. What should I wear? What am I going to eat for breakfast? Which email do I answer first? By the time you get to the really important high-stakes stuff later in the day, you could be running on fumes. And that's when you're way more likely to make a bad call or just take the easy way out.
So once you get the whole idea of decision fatigue, you realize that what looks like a weird habit is actually a high-performance hack. And what's really interesting is that Zuckerberg is definitely not the only one doing this.
This isn't just some weird thing a few people do. It is a conscious, deliberate strategy. It's about setting up your life to protect your most valuable resource, your ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
And just look at the company he's in. You can see this exact pattern with other incredibly effective people. Steve Jobs had his iconic black turtleneck and jeans. President Barack Obama famously said he only wore gray or blue suits because he had too many other decisions to make. These are people whose choices affect millions, and they all created a personal uniform to cut down on the mental noise.
Okay, so this is all great for billionaires and presidents, but what does it mean for the rest of us? Well, the exact same principle applies to you and me. Let's talk about your own personal decision budget. All right, get ready for this, because this number is kind of wild. Researchers estimate that the average adult makes around 35,000 decisions every single day. Yeah, 35,000. That is just a staggering number.
And think about it. Most of those 35,000 decisions are not these huge, life-changing moments. They're these small, constant little things. What am I going to have for lunch? Should I take this route to work or the other one? What are we going to watch tonight? Each one is like a tiny withdrawal from your mental bank account.
And that's the real lesson here. Every single one of these choices that feels so small and insignificant, it actually puts a tax on your mental budget. They might not feel like a big deal at the moment, but they add up and they drain the energy you need for the stuff that actually matters, like your career, your family, your biggest goals.
So, how do you protect your own budget? It's actually pretty simple. First, automate whatever you can. Create routines, plan your meals for the week, pick out your outfits the night before. Second, prioritize your day. Do the hardest, most important thinking in the morning when your mental battery is full. And third, just simplify. Cut down your options. Instead of staring at a menu with 50 items, maybe just have 2 or 3 go-to choices. At the end of the day, the goal is simple. It's about getting rid of all those trivial decisions so you can save your best thinking, your sharpest focus, and your strongest willpower for the biggest challenges and opportunities that come your way.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. This isn't really about wearing a gray t-shirt. It's about being intentional with your mental energy.
So think about it. What's just one small, recurring decision you could completely eliminate from your life, starting tomorrow, to free up your mind for what really, truly counts?